Hi, everyone. Welcome to Enjoy English. I'm Steven.
I'm Anthony.
Yes, and today's date is May the 1st, and we're looking at pages 8 to 9 under composition.
我们今天要介绍的主题呢是主题写作。那我们这个作文的题目呢叫做宁静车厢，人人适用吗？这个地方我们看到英文的标题是 A Quiet Carriage for All。好，所有人都可以适用吗？
Right, and I do like how you went upwards with that word all because it is a question in this particular situation, right? All right, and a carriage, I do hear carriage now, so we'll explain what that word means, but the first time I heard that word is in Cinderella.
没错，是在这个灰姑娘里面那个马车有没有？
Yeah,
carriage.
The pumpkin carriage. So let's find out what it means in this particular article. Let's get started.
A quiet carriage for all? I strongly support the quiet carriage policy introduced by the high-speed rail. Many passengers rest, read, or work while traveling by train. Loud phone calls, music, videos, or conversations can be very disturbing for them. By encouraging people to wear earphones, speak softly, and move to another area to talk on the phone, the policy promotes mutual respect. It also helps create a more pleasant public space where everyone can enjoy a quiet and comfortable journey. However, I do not think the same rules should be strictly applied to babies, young children, or passengers who are sick or have difficulty moving around. These individuals may not be able to fully control their behavior or leave their seats when needed. Asking them to follow these rules could cause extra stress for both them and their caregivers. In such situations, understanding matters more than silence. Instead of blaming or complaining, passengers should be encouraged to show empathy so that train carriages can become friendly spaces for everyone.
All right, so before we get started, let's kind of talk about what we're going to be talking about today. There are some words like the high-speed rail, which is something you see in Taipei or all throughout Taiwan, and it's usually shortened to HSR, right?
没错，就是高铁的意思。
And so every high-speed rail, the high-speed rail now is trying to enforce a policy called the quiet carriage policy.
第二个呢，重要的词汇就是车厢宁静政策。Quiet carriage 就是我们常常说的这个车厢。在英国的话，我有机会听到 coach 这个字 ，C-O-A-C-H 也是指车厢的意思哦。
Yes. All right, so let's get started on the article itself. I strongly support the quiet carriage policy introduced by the high-speed rail.
好，我们来看第一段的第一句话哦。I strongly support the quiet carriage policy. 好，我们先到这边。当你今天碰到一个这个作文里头，他会要求你说，第一段请说明你是否赞成这个措施，然后说明它的原因嘛。所以至少你要先给一点 background information。所以这边的话一定会提到这个高铁，一定会提到宁静政策，这样子的话就可以很轻松的把这个主题呈现出来。所以你看这边的第一句话，他说 I strongly support the quiet carriage policy。好，所以这第一个车厢宁静政策就出现了。第二部分 introduced by the high-speed rail。The high-speed rail 就是老师刚刚所介绍的高铁。好，这个 introduce 指的就是推行的意思。这个东西呢是被高铁公司所推行的。好，所以用 VPP。被动的方式来呈现。当你今天谈到推行新的政策的时候，你可以说 introduce a new policy, or you can say roll out a new policy. 它是 R-O-L-L 然后 O-U-T roll out 一个动词片语来表达推行。所以呢，在第一句话里面，除了介绍 background information 之外，它还要提出你的立场。所以它前面提到 I strongly support the idea.I strongly support the policy. 整句话就说我非常支持高铁推出车厢宁静政策。
And I also think it's really important to learn these adverbs like strongly. Okay, you know the adjective strong just means 壮的, right? But strongly support is, it kind of really shows that you really, really, really support this thing. So it kind of just gives this sentence like a color that you not only support it a little bit, but you support it a lot. Okay, you feel very passionate about this particular policy. So carriage in this situation is just a separate section of a train that carries passengers. Like any section is called a carriage.
Yes.
Anytime you see a policy, it just means a system of guidelines. Okay, so this is what they're trying to introduce. Many passengers rest, read, or work while traveling by train.
好，我们来看第二句话，它就告诉你说 many passengers。好，你看到 passengers 多半是那种乘客，不管你是坐飞机还是坐高铁 ，passengers 就是乘客的意思。许许多多的乘客呢 ，rest、read or work while traveling by train， 意思就是他们在乘车的时候可能会休息啊，可能会阅读，或甚至是工作等等。每个人都有每个人的需求，可能有些人需要安静的环境这样子。
Yes. And then here, one thing to point out is anytime you're taking some kind of vehicle, we say you do, and you're going from A to B, we'll say you're doing it by this particular vehicle, like by boat, or by plane, or by car, or by walking. Okay, so you can actually, say how you're getting there on foot. Okay, and I do like how this paragraph is kind of slowly introducing like what this policy is trying to introduce. So after you tell them like how you feel about it, then you're going and telling us like the general information, like talking about what these passengers are doing, and then later like why these policies might be important.
没错。在这里的话，我们就会看到这个地方，老师刚刚特别提到说，如果说今天你先讲到了第一句话之后呢，后面慢慢谈到说，很多人在车上可以休息啊，可以工作啊，可以阅读啊，等等这些东西的话呢，其实都是需求。这样的话就可以切入到我们今天的这个视角了。
So then next sentence is going to be introducing the things that are going to be why they have this quiet carriage policy. Loud phone calls, music, videos, or conversations can be very disturbing for them.
好，我们来看这句话，他说 loud phone calls， 好，有不管是很吵的这种电话声啦 ，music 那种音乐啦 ，videos or conversations 或者谈话的声音 can be very disturbing for them。好，对他们这些要工作、要休息、要阅读的来说呢，任何那种大声的这种音乐啦，或者是谈话声，或者是看影片，然后放到很大声的地方，这都非常非常恼人，或非常非常会打扰他们。这个 disturb 这个字是动词，加了 ing 之后就具有这样的特质特性，就会去打扰到人家。你可以用 disturbing 这个形容词。
Yeah, so anything that's disturbing can cause anxiety or cause discomfort for someone. Okay, so these loud phone calls or music or videos can be disturbing for people. Okay, so are you someone who is disturbed by loud noises when you're in spaces like that?
That's true. 我自己本身很害怕，有点敏感，对声音有点敏感。老师刚刚提到另外一个字很棒，叫 anxiety。anxiety 就是焦虑，它的拼法是 anxiety. Anxiety is what I have. When I hear loud music or loud noises, 好，那种东西的话，会让我觉得很不舒服，很焦虑。
It makes you anxious.
Anxious, exactly.
The adjective is anxious. Okay. By encouraging people to wear earphones, speak softly, and move to another area to talk on the phone, the policy promotes mutual respect.
好，我们来看一下这边这句话，他说 by encouraging people to wear earphones 一定会加 s， 因为你有两个耳朵嘛，所以基本上耳机的话，你有机会听到的是 earphones or headphones 这种头戴式的 headphones， 好，都可以。好，所以人们呢都会就希望高铁会希望鼓励人们去戴上耳机 ，speak softly 轻声交谈。And move to another area to talk on the phone. 如果真的要讲电话的话，请到这个玄关，就是那种车厢跟车厢之间的那个接轨的这个地方呢，去那边谈就好了。他说 ，The policy promotes mutual respect. 好，这个 mutual 就是彼此的相互 你如果说今天我跟这个 Steven 老师有一个共同的朋友 ，we have a mutual friend，、就是这个 mutual 就是相互的，有认识同样的人等等。这个字的话很好用 ，mutual respect 就是互相尊重，他会鼓励大家互相尊重。
Yeah, so mutual, even though it has a T, it's kind of the T is kind of pronounced like a CH sound. Mutual. Okay, mutual respect means having respect for one another. And then here, promote, it means to actively encourage. So this policy hopes to actively encourage people to have respect for one another. Okay, it also helps create a more pleasant public space where everyone can enjoy a quiet and comfortable journey.
好，所以我们来看这句话 ，It also helps create help。这个字后面如果再加动词的话，它可以用 to， 也可以不用。外国人的话，因为喜欢怕麻烦，所以他最通常是不用那个 to 的。所以 it also helps create a more pleasant public space. Pleasant 就是让人很愉快、很愉悦的一个地方。Public place 当然就是指公共的这种场所。Where everyone 就是 in that place。Where 你看下面写 in that place， 在那个地方呢 ，everyone can enjoy a quiet.and comfortable journey， 每个人都可以去享有一个又安静又舒适的一个环境。
Yes, so here we've reached the end of the first paragraph. So how is the second paragraph going to be different? Well, we'll find out in a second. All right, so now in this paragraph, we're going to start with a word that instantly lets us know it's going to be different from the previous paragraph. So I'm particularly trying to point this out because a lot of times when we're writing compositions, especially in a different language, we tend to kind of put the wrong, putting things in the wrong paragraph or putting the wrong sentence structure. It's good to kind of make sure that your whole article or your whole essay is running smoothly. So you're not losing people along the way.
Yeah.
And then when you create a new paragraph, there is a reason for that. Or when you're ending a paragraph, like you're getting ready for a new one, there needs to be a reason for that.
没错，为了要这个文章行文更加的顺畅，你要去想到说，这句话我大概摆在第一段好还是第二段好？甚至有的时候你看到前面他先讲到这个整体的这种状况，然后人们的需求，然后所以这个时候其实如果高铁去要求大家稍微安静，或者怎样尽可能的去保持安静，事实上是能够互相尊重。把这些东西都讲好之后，你看到上面这个文章的那个需求，他这前面提到说，第二段分享你认为这项措施是否也应该用在婴儿、幼童或其他什么疾病等因素而影响自主能力的旅客上面？那对我来说，我自己会觉得说，当然今天这个主要的原则已经跟大家讲了，可是原则之下一定还会有一些例外，所以在第二段，它根据我们文章的这个要求、主旨的要求的话，你就可以去想说，那正如这些例外等等，我们就可以把它放在第二段里面来表达。
Yes. However, I do not think the same rules should be strictly applied to babies, young children, or passengers who are sick or have difficulty moving around.
好，我们来看第二段第一句话所以我们刚刚前面题目里面有问到说，这样子的这种规则啦等等，适不适用于以下这些人？所以刚好在第二段里面的话，你就可以表达一下你对这件事情的立场。所以在这边的话，一看到第一句话的第一个字 ，however， 然而 ，I do not think the same rules should be strictly applied to。Be applied to 就是被用在什么什么地方，那 strictly apply 就是很严格的去用在这些人身上。谁呢？ Babies, young children, or passengers who are sick or have difficulty moving around. 好，很多时候这个行动不便的旅客，他们的轮椅可能会发出很大的声音，可能没有上油，发出很大的声音等等。你听到的时候，难道说，这是宁静车厢？这样好像有点太过分了点。
So here we see applied to babies or strictly applied to babies. Let's talk about that adverb first. 就是很严肃的，很严格的, okay, strictly applied to. And when we have rules applying to someone, this apply means to be used on or to be put into effect for babies or young children or passengers who are sick. Okay, so that's what we're using apply in this sentence for. I do want to call attention to, even though we're starting this paragraph with the transition, however, for showing a contradiction. Whenever you start a new paragraph, you don't necessarily have to have like a very obvious transition. A lot of times, as long as the meaning of the sentence is very obvious why it's starting a new paragraph, that's already good enough. But it's not incorrect to do this. It's actually very effective, but I'm just trying to let you know there are other options as well. You don't always have to have like a very obvious word.
没错。事实上，老师就要提醒大家说，其实像这种话只是一种形态。那如果说今天在第二段开头的时候，如果你有一个很明确的理由可以去衔接第一段的内容，它这只是一种做法而已。那还有很多其他种做法。那在这边的话，只是说，因为用这样的方式去做，因为要讲的东西很多，所以这样是很有效率的方式去把所有该讲的事情讲出来。所以在这边的话，跟老师跟大家说，这是其中一个用法，可以把它学起来。另外还可以说一下这个地方 have difficulty doing something， 就是做后面的事情有点困难。have difficulty， 比方说 I have difficulty deciding what to eat for lunch。我觉得这个选择障碍啊，中午要吃什么很麻烦。I have difficulty doing something， 就是做后面的事情很难做到。
Yeah, make sure that verb after difficulty is an ing form. Okay. These individuals may not be able to fully control their behavior or leave their seats when needed.
好，我们来看下面这句话，他说 These individuals 就是这一些人 ，individual 就是指个人的意思。刚刚提到这些 babies、young children， 或是这种生病的、行动不便的旅客等等，他们这些人呢 ，these individuals may not be able to fully control their behavior， 可能没有办法完全的去控制他们的行为。因为小朋友嘛，其实我记得那时候我到那个法国去的时候，我坐在法国这个高铁 TGV 的车厢里面，小朋友在吵啊干嘛？当然也就是一副就是他们就是小孩，不然你要我怎样
？What can you do？
对啊，没办法啊。所以这样的话，我觉得原来在国外的话，事实上对小朋友他们是比较友善的。那现在我们已经碰到少子化的问题，如果说能够创造一些对父母来讲、对孩子来讲更友善的环境，那相信大家也比较不会这么怕生小孩。所以在这边这个地方他说 fully control their behavior 就是能够完全控制他们的行为 ，or leave their seats when needed。好，或者是无法在需要的时候离开座位。好，这个地方的话，我们就提到说，他们有他们的一些需求，跟他们有点困难的地方，我们要能够体谅。
And in this sentence, we see these individuals. And in the previous sentence, we saw passengers. So they're all talking about people.
Yep.
And in the English language, when we're writing articles, we tend to not want to repeat the same word over and over again. I don't think we have that kind of sensitivity when it comes to Chinese.
好像中文就比较没有那么讨厌重复用到同样的字。
Yeah. Yeah, a lot of times, like, if you see 人, the 字人 a lot in the sentence, we won't be like, it won't be like something that we will look at that article and be like, this is written like unprofessionally. But for some reason, when we see English articles, like if someone uses the same word over and over again, it does make the reader think that it wasn't written by someone who has a big grasp of the English language. It's just like a habit.
没错。
Yeah, so we're encouraged even when we're writing in middle school or high school to try to find similar words with the same meaning, the synonyms of words, just so we can make our writing a lot more colorful and a lot more interesting to look at and more layered. So that's just something to look out for. It's just a habit.
没错，所以在这里的话，如果懂得换字的技巧，会让你的写作呢更有层次。然后刚刚用到 layered， 这个字我觉得蛮棒的 ，L-A-Y-E-R，layer 是名词，加了 ed 之后 ，ed 和后面之后就变成形容词，会让你的写作更有层次感、更丰富，不会好像觉得说哇，这个人的字汇好少，只能一直用重复的字来讲同样一件事情。
Yeah, but 一开始的时候这样写没有关系，所以不要给自己压力，觉得很像你一开始写就要懂得写很多的字，就慢慢来，就不要有压力，只是说那是一个目标，希望可以同时学更多的一些词汇。
没错，
好。Right, so 同时要让大家知道这一点。我怕他们说有些 people 要
被 Steven 老师讨厌了。
不会。Okay, asking them to follow these rules could cause extra stress for both them and their caregivers.
好，我们来看这句话说 asking them to follow these rules， 要求他们要去遵照这些宁静的规则呢。好，这件事情，所以你会用 asking them， 这个 asking 就知道哦，这整块是一件事，是名词。Could cause extra stress for both them and their caregivers， 那可能会造成他们这些人，好，这些有需求的人，还有他们的照顾者 their caregivers， 很无形的这种压力。这个地方我们看到这个字 stress 这个字的话就是压力的意思。有的时候你会听到另外一个字叫做 pressure 的拼法是 pressure，press 就是 press 压的意思，然后加 ure 的话变成名词压力，这两个字都可以指我们那种生理上或心理上的压力哦。
And in this sentence, for both them and their caregivers, this word both could be taken out, but it's trying to emphasize there are two people involved. Okay. In such situations, understanding matters more than silence.
好，我们来看下面这句话 In such situations， such 这个字就是在这样的这样子的这种情形之下 situation 是情况、情境、情形的意思。在这种情形之下呢 understanding 这个地方当名词使用 understanding matters， 好，就是理解非常重要 more than silence。 好，这时候理解呢就比后面 silence 沉默、安静这件事情更加重要了。
Yeah, matters in this sentence means like have importance. Okay, 有这个重要性. So 理解比宁静更重要. Okay, and here in these situations, you could use the word these as well, right? Okay, so that's just another option. Instead of blaming or complaining, passengers should be encouraged to show empathy so that train carriages can become friendly spaces for everyone.
所以在这边这句话呢，就让我想到之前的时候，我们在上一段有提到这个 mutual respect， 互相尊重，我有我安静的需求，你有你这个身体上的需要等等各方面。所以最后这句话说 instead of blaming or complaining。Blaming 就是去责怪别人，complaining 就是去抱怨。与其去就是 instead of 做这件事，好，后面再接上一个你应该做的事是什么。所以与其去抱怨啦，去责怪啦 ，passengers should be encouraged， 所有的乘客应该被鼓励 to show empathy。好 ，empathy 这个字就是指同理心，展现出你的同理心。然后呢 ，so that train carriages can become friendlier。好，就是friendly spaces for everyone， 所有这个车厢呢就会变得更加的友善，让所有的人都可以在里面安心的这种搭乘。
Yes. So hopefully you guys learned a lot today, and we'll see you guys next time.
Bye bye.